In this video, I'm going to show non-coders how to go from an empty folder on their desktop to a real Astro website that is scaffolded with AI, pushed to GitHub, and deployed on Vercel, and ready to build on. So if you're using tools like Codex, Claude, or another LLM to help you create websites, this is the part where you get the project foundation set up the right way, so the rest of the build is a lot easier. We're not trying to finish the whole site in this video. This is part of a series. We're just getting the baseline in place so the project works locally, works online, and is ready for the next steps. The first thing you have to do is choose a place on your computer and create a new folder. That way your website can live there. So I'm choosing to put my folder inside of Documents, inside of a subfolder called Dev Projects. So we'll go ahead and name it new-astro-scaffold. All right, so that's the name of my website. And then what we're going to do is go into VS Code and we're going to open up that folder. So inside of VS Code here, you can go over here to the Explorer and click Open Folder, or you can go ahead and use the menu. Open Folder, and then you just go ahead and find it. Click Open. You can trust the authors. And then, yeah, it's as simple as that to get it open inside of VS Code. So right here it says, under Explorer, it says New Astro Scaffold. Now you can use another app or tool, whatever suits your fancy, but I'm using VS Code along with Codex inside of this build. And as you can see on the right side, I have the Codex icon. So that way I can start chatting with Codex right down here. And if you don't have that installed inside of VS Code yet, where you could go is go over here to the extensions and then just search for the Codex OpenAI's coding agent. And the plan I'm using is just the Basic Plus plan. You can do it with Pro, but yeah, I recommend a subscription. Otherwise, you're going to run out of tokens right away. So that's how you get the first part started. Before we let Codex build anything, what you have to do is prepare your prompt. I want to explain the prompt because the quality of the project and the setup depends a lot on the quality of the instructions, right? So the prompt is where I define the stack, it's the direction, and the kind of foundation that we want the website to start with. So the scaffolding means just basically setting up the initial dependencies and technology that your website is going to run on. So we have it set to set up the bare bones foundation for a new site. Again, since we're building this step by step, we want to just add things as we go along instead of just one-shotting it and have Codex build the entire website all at once. So this is not a full website build. Don't try to fully design, write, optimize, etc. So you can read it word for word. I'll make this available for you. Our project stack is Astro, Tailwind CSS, TypeScript, Astro Content Collections, MDX for Content Collections, and we're going to avoid React unless necessary. So the reason that we're using Astro is because it allows us to use the Astro Content Collections. And if you're coming from WordPress, you can think of custom post types, custom taxonomy, and custom fields. That's essentially what this is allowing us to do there. And we're using Tailwind because most LLMs have a good handle on Tailwind because that's one of the most recognized CSS frameworks out there. So that's easy to work with and it's good for them. The next thing down here is the MDX files for the content collections. So when you make a individual post, as you would in, say, WordPress, what you do inside of the content collection is have an MD file. And that will be your individual post for the custom post types. And the MDX file in particular allows you to insert components inside of the content. So instead of just writing an MD file with only text, with this, you can go ahead and put like some kind of a component like a form or a call out, just anything like that. Now, React is often used for stuff like animations or just extra functionality that might be necessary. And yeah, we don't want to add stuff like that and extra stuff like that until we actually need it, right? So we're giving it this high level goal. We want routes. So how do the content collections and the URLs and everything gets routed together? Folders, layouts would be like your, if you're coming from something like Bricks Builder, that would be like a template for your custom post type, a layout. Placeholder pages, so about contact page, that kind of thing. Our collection directories, so each collection of post types, and basic navigation, right? Again, we have constraints kind of repeated. Don't build too much stuff. Don't build a full website, etc. So here's our core pages. We have the about page, pricing, contact, and intro call. So this is set up for an agency website. So that's kind of the basis of the URL structure that we're going for. And then we have services. And then after services, we have the slug. So services by itself is an archive page, and then each individual service will have its own URL here. Content silos. So this would be like your categories. And we have, since this is the niche that we're going for with this specific build is electricians. So we're providing websites or web design and SEO type services for electricians. So you can go ahead, when you're following along, you can go ahead and choose any niche that you want. You can have it for board game creators, or online gaming, or you could do it for lawyers, anything you want. You can just go ahead and follow along and choose your own path. So yeah, these are our 3 different categories here, and then this is the URL structure for each of those categories. So the routes. So this would be considered one custom post type is posts, and the next one is glossary. So the idea with glossary is that each different post will have a kind of tag. Say if there's an article about SEO, I'll give it the SEO tag, and then that SEO tag will have its own basically index page. So what is the definition of SEO, and what are all the related posts to it? So that's another custom post type, and then the URL structure is glossary for the archive page. And each letter of the alphabet will have its own archive page. So S will have its own archive page, and then you'll have the glossary /S/SEO for that specific page. So it's telling the LLM to go ahead and create that. And this is just an extra instruction not to do glossary /term. We want the extra archive path in there for the permalink. And then we have our legal pages. And this is just an extra clarification of what kind of pages we have. So we have the core pages, which are the about, contact, pricing, etc. Then we have the service pages. Now, my current setup, the way I'm doing service pages, is that each individual service page is going to be a custom page, right? So if I have one service page that says call tracking, I'm going to build that by hand. It won't be a templated. It won't be a templated layout like the posts and the glossary will be templated with layouts. So then we have our silo hub pages, basically for the posts. Okay, so prepare directories for collections. Again, we have 2 collections, 2 custom post types. One is posts and one is glossary, right? And posts will belong to one silo, basically one collection, more or less. And then glossary will have its own collection, okay? And then here's the relationship between the glossary and the posts. Then we just have some basic navigation that we'll have as placeholder for right now. And we'll have a minimum footer. And here's just more instruction to keep it simple. And yeah, so you can go ahead and copy this and then adjust it any way that you want that makes sense for the website that you're building. So now that we have our prompt prepared, I'm going to let Codex generate the initial scaffold. And so the goal here is not to have a finished website. Again, the goal is to get a strong foundation, a starting baseline, right? So this is an AI coded workflow. So I'm using AI to create the structure quickly. Then I'm going to review what it actually made. So we'll go ahead and copy and paste this prompt and then go ahead and put it into VS Code. So we'll go back over here to the Explorer so we can see as files are being made. And we'll go down here to the chat. We'll go ahead and paste that in. Now, you can go ahead and change your model down here. And you can also go ahead and change the reasoning effort from low, medium, high, and extra high. Remember that it's going to cost more tokens and take more time to use the higher reasoning. So I'm just going to stick with medium for right now. And then I'll click send and let it build. All right, so that took 5 minutes and 51 seconds. And it said it created a minimal Astro scaffold that stays intentionally unfinished and easy to extend. So that's pretty much what we want, right? And if we go over to the left and look at the Explorer panel, we can click on package.json here. That's one of the first files we'll check. And this is basically the setup sheet for the project. It tells us what tools the project is using and which commands are available to run the site, build it, and preview it. So this is one of the quickest ways to sanity check what kind of project Codex or Claude, what they actually made and created for us. So you can see here that it has Astro, and under dependencies we have Tailwind, and there's TypeScript. So yeah, you can go ahead and check that file out. Next, we can take a look at the Tailwind setup and the styling system for the project. So let's go over to SRC and then styles and then global CSS. Okay, so this is our initial Tailwind setup. So it's very minimal, and that's on purpose, right? So we can go ahead and see what it has already and then build on it from there. Also inside the SRC folder is the pages folder right down here. And then here's the pages, about.astro, contact index, intro call, pricing, privacy policy, terms and conditions. Now these names, these titles usually map directly to your URLs right on the site, but index doesn't. That's the home page. So you can go ahead and find your pages right there. If you go over under SRC, immediately under there is the components folder. So this is where the reusable building blocks for the site live. So instead of rebuilding the same section or card over and over, you can make it once and then reuse it across the whole site. And again, like I said, for the MDX files, you can go ahead and insert those inside of MDX content instead of MD content, so you can use components there too. So this is going to keep the project clean and scalable and consistent. Then there's the layouts section over here. So the layouts are the shared page wrappers, like the templates, like you would have a Bricks Builder template for a custom post type. So they usually control the bigger outer structure of a page type, while components handle the smaller reusable pieces inside of that structure. So the layouts are going to help you keep the whole page type consistent and not just like isolated sections. The content folder over here on the side, where it says a glossary and posts here, that's where all the Astro content collections live. So this is one of the biggest reasons that we're using Astro, right? So if we have a lot of content and we have it built in a way that's structured, we can use Astro's content collections. So one of the biggest benefits with this is that the LLM and the AI can directly see the content and it can manipulate it just by using a prompt instead of having to go into the back of a CMS like WordPress or Sanity and adjust it there. So if you're a person that doesn't allow clients to go into the back of your website, this would be a perfect fit for you. If you need clients to get into the back of the website and have a CMS to be editing, then you might want to go with Sanity or WordPress or another solution. So the post folder inside of the content collection here, right here, this is where the posts will actually live, the posts themselves. So over time, this is going to become bigger. And this is the publishing engine that supports our long-term SEO strategy with the glossary. So as you can see under here, there's the 3 different content silos, right? And then each MDX file is a post. So this is as you can see, this is a placeholder post. And each content silo or category has its own placeholder post at the moment. Just like the post folder, there's a glossary folder, which is another content collection. And under glossary is each individual letter, just like we defined inside of the prompt. And inside of each letter, that's own archive, it has a placeholder post. So this is under the A, there's the anchor text. So to follow the alphabetic sorting. And as you can see, there's the local SEO under L. And again, it's an MDX file. So we can directly edit it here, use Astro Editor. We can also place the components inside of it because it's an MDX file. So currently right now in our project, our website, we don't have a public folder. The public folder is for static files that should be served directly as is. So this would include things like your favicons, your social share images, just any other images or kind of assets like that are static. So I went over here and then I asked Codex, where's the public folder? And it said there isn't a public folder yet since this is started from an empty workspace. So I'll just go ahead and ask it to add it. All right, so if we go over here, now we have the public folder. Obviously there's nothing in it yet, but yeah, that's where your static assets would go. So we have scaffolded the project, but we have not actually seen the website itself yet. So we want some proof that Codex generated a website that we can actually see. So we're going to need it. We're going to need to start a local dev server. And what you can do is go ahead and go up to terminal and click new terminal, and then it will show up at the bottom here. Or you could go ahead and drag it up from the bottom, and you can run this command. You can go ahead and type npm run dev, or you can just go over to the chat and then tell Codex to start it up. Can you start a local server and then give me the link to the homepage? All right, so here's our homepage. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is the site that it made. As you can see, it says a new website scaffold. We have home, we have services, and they are clickable. You can move about the website, and it seems to be working. And we have our archive pages and everything else. So we have evidence that the website is working. So again, this is on our local machine currently inside that folder that we made at the very beginning. Now that we have our website up and running locally, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to initialize Git, which is basically your website's version history. So think of Google Docs. When you have a Google Doc, it automatically saves the version history. But with Git, you basically get to choose when it saves a version. So in order to start that, you'll go over here to the source control, and then you'll click Initialize Repository. Now that we have initialized Git, you can see all the changes that we've made because we haven't actually made any commits yet. So in order to make your first commit, you'll go up here to type a message, and we'll just write initial commit. Okay, so we have made our initial commit. If you go down here, you can see it says initial commit. That's the name of the commit. And then it says the branch, which is main. So later when we start to make changes to our website, after it's live online with your custom domain, then what you would do is create separate branches and a separate branch away from, say, main, and then just call it something like a contact page if you're going to edit the contact page or add another page. But for right now, we'll just keep it as main, okay? So we made our first commit. Now let's see how we can make a change on our local website and then make sure that Git is working, and you can see how the changes work. So if we go over to the website, the title is called the new website scaffold. So let's just try to change that and see if it's working. So we'll go to the File Explorer, then we'll go to the home page. So index.astro, and it says new website scaffold. We'll type this. We'll just type my cool scaffold, okay? And then, again, just like any file on your computer, if you make a change, you can go ahead and go to File and click Save, right? And as you can see over here in the source control, we have one change on the index.astro page. Now let's go over to the website, and it says my cool scaffold. I didn't have to press refresh or anything. It just says it right there. So if we want to save this as a version, create our own version history, then we'll go up here and then click the plus to stage the changes. Then we have to give it a message. And what you do is you typically write a verb at the start in the present tense to title your commit. So just say change headline. Then we press commit, and you can see it moving down here. And now we have a new version right down here, change headline. Okay, so now that we have Git initialized, we need to go ahead and put this on GitHub. So GitHub is basically the cloud version of this version history, because when we use Vercel to host it, Vercel pulls the website from GitHub. So if you don't have GitHub, you need to go to github.com and make your own account. Same with Vercel. If you don't have Vercel, then you need to make an account there. They're both free. So I already have it connected. And right here, I will click Publish Branch. So it will be called New Astro Scaffold. So if I go over to my repositories, I do not have one called New Astro Scaffold. I'll click Publish Branch. I'll click up here, Publish to GitHub, Private Repository. Okay, and as you can see now, we have a purple cloud right here. So, and it says down here, Git merge base main, origin main. So I clicked refresh, and now I have a new Astro scaffold, and this is private. This is a private repository. Now we want to get this online. So it'll basically be on our staging site. So we go over to Vercel and make sure you're signed up. And as you can see, I'm on the hobby plan. So it's free hosting. I'll click add new project. And what we'll go under is import Git repository. If you do not see your new website here, that means you have to adjust the GitHub app permissions. So you'll click here, then you will go ahead and sign in. Okay, so then we'll go down to repository access, select repositories, new Astro scaffold. Click there, click save. Okay, now we have the option to import. So what we're going to do is go ahead and import this to Vercel from GitHub. So click import. And yep, it's a Astro. So we'll click deploy. Congratulations, you just deployed a new project to the Thomas J. Fellows. Okay, so we'll go to our dashboard. And as you can see, we have a vercel.app URL. So we'll click here, and here is the new website that we just made. Okay, so if I click here, we have the local host. And if we click here, then we have the live version that's online and it's hosted, so you can visit it from anywhere. Then later in the series, we're going to go ahead and attach our custom domain, but for right now, it's good to go, so we can see how it looks. And again, this is more like your staging site. So after it's live on your custom domain, you can make new branches on your Git and GitHub, and then you can start to make some edits and then see how it looks on a live domain. So here we are with our new website. It's online, and yes, it's just a bare bones, but the value that I'm trying to show here is the workflow itself. So you're going from having just a prompt right here, all right, to having a scaffolded project on your local machine, on your computer, and online. So I'm trying to show you that this is a repeatable workflow, a process that you can build upon and fit to your own needs. So with this foundation in place, the next step is to decide what the site should actually feel like and start to look like, a visual direction. So in the next video, we're going to define the visual direction by choosing the fonts, colors, and overall style that's going to shape the rest of the website. So we're going to build a hero section and then choose some colors, that type of thing. So if you want to follow along, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you got some value, go ahead and hit subscribe. And one more little tidbit is that this is the second time I'm recording this video. So this scaffolded project will look a little bit different in the next video. Anyway, if you want to follow along, go ahead and check out the next video.